All right, we got this 9899 Arctic Cat ZRZL case reed twin block torn apart. This is the bottom end. This is where the water pump goes. Water pump gasket. Here is a mess. It's a mess. Water pump cover. I mean, I gotta clean this up. So there are plenty of guys that do it much cleaner than old field mechanic like me. So a couple sides of bolts that go in this crankcase. Looks like there's an 8mm and a 6mm, and those two smaller ones are 6mm. But if you're gonna do this, you're gonna take it apart and you're gonna kind of understand what's going on. So the torque on those 8mm is 13 to 20, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. 13 to 20 foot-pounds of torque on those 8mm. The 6mm are 6 to 8.5 foot-pounds of torque. So that's a whole nother video or whatever topic. So got this crankcase torn apart because these water pumps go bad, and I have a new water pump seal in there packed full of grease, because that's the key to putting these things together. Is you can lubricate, use grease, mystery oil, two-stroke oil. Just want to make sure they're slippery and they don't like stick and bind and tear or rip or gouge or whatever. So this comes in here like so, and there is a shim right there on the gear-driven water pump. So this side over here is where the oil pump is, and this side is the water pump on the Arctic Cat. So yeah, I don't really like doing this, but I like to ride, so it's kind of a labor of love. Like I said, that seal's in there, the new seal, and you will need one of these tools. What are they called? To get, that's what it is. The old one was good, so I just threw the old one back in. Combination internal, external snap ring plier set. So you need snap ring pliers. These are fine because you can switch them out. Work pretty decent. And the kit I'm using is a Vertex 721216. Pretty good kit. It's got most of the stuff in it. It doesn't come with an O-ring for, basically this is where the oil pump hooks up. It goes in like this on this shaft. But it's just a basic O-ring, so anybody that does this kind of work usually has, like a box of O-rings or whatever. You can find something to work. This goes into here, and what I'm going to do to get that in there is I'll get a socket that fits around here without damaging this, and I'll tap it in there gently. I'll lube it up because it seals around the outside edge. Came out, I got it out with a chisel, and you can see a little bit of surface, scratching, whatever, nothing serious. But like I said, the inside here is what you want to make sure is really nice and smooth, so it'll seal back up when you pop her in there. So this goes in here the other way. Let me pause this, see if I can find the right size socket to get that tapped in there. All right, I got the correct size socket. It's the 22mm 6-point, and that's my sealing surface. And it basically just fits almost perfect in there. Like I said, I'm gonna lube it up, give her a solid tap in there to seat it, and that'll be good enough. That's how it's done. I'm sure there's a tool someone will sell you, but I don't have one. Another part, this goes basically, goes, oh crap. Yeah, there, 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 and this. All goes on the end of that shaft once you get it in there. So this is what happens with these. Like this is the old seal, and it is just hard as a rock. It's brittle, probably from 98, maybe 97. And like your crank seals, they just go bad. So if you're gonna do one of these motors, I know this from experience, don't just throw a top end on it and expect it to work, because it'll burn coolant if you're lucky, if not burn down. You don't want some emery cloth to clean up the shaft. You want to make sure that's nice and smooth and clean. And like I said, the key to putting this all back together is making sure you use plenty of grease. I'll pack that with grease in there. Yeah, I'm gonna get new crank seals in this bottom end, and yeah, it's gonna be fun when I'm done. let me pull this up, the top end up, and show you that a little bit about it. So I got the bottom end, or the top end. Oh, still on the half of the crankcase. I'm not going to recommend you do it this way. I'm going to recommend you pull it all the way down and do it separate, but I had already redone this top end years ago. I've been sitting in the garage. Oh, rookie mistakes. So these crank bearings, this little here goes on that pin. Let's see if we can get down there and see that pin. There's a pin in there. Let's try it this way. Yeah. That needs to, this needs to seat on that pin down there. And same for the PTO side where your clutch goes. In your inner bearings, there are, where are we at here? Camera. Okay. Like I don't even know what to call them. I don't know the correct terminology, but one needs to go down and one goes up, so they're 180 degrees apart. Yeah, fun times. Like I said, I don't recommend trying to put crank seals and redoing your water pump with the top end on. I pull it down all the way, but this is where we're at. We're gonna give it a go. Fingers crossed, do the best we can, and run her till she blows. All right, so there's 4 pins. One fits there. One fits there. Bum, bum, bum. There. And there. So I cleaned up the other opposite side of the alcohol, and I marked it with a paint pen. My bearings. So I'm gonna try and get it seated and see what happens, because I really don't want to tear the top end off this again. But I guess I will if I have to. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I don't recommend doing it this way. Not on one of these, that's for sure. All right, so I think I got it. My lines are pretty much lined up all the way. Giveaway is this. What's the oiling point or what? It's pretty much dead top. But this was the bearing I started with, the PTO side, and you can feel it when it sets in on that pin that it's in there solid. And like I said, that keeps the bearing from rotating. We got that one, then just kind of worked my way across, and I'm comfortable with it. I'm gonna give her a go. The trick is now I gotta get my crank seals on there and put the bottom half of the crankcase on, with the torque values I talked about earlier. I'm happy with it. Got to finish putting my water pump together, and yeah, fun times. Look, that's the thing about these motors. This is a 98, 99. 98 probably was built in 97. You're pushing 25 years old. Crank seals, water pump seals. I mean, the rubbers, they get hard. They wear out. They don't seal. And on a two-stroke, it's very important. This isn't a four-stroke. Four-strokes are much more forgiving and easier to work on. Worked on plenty of Chevrolets, 350 Chevy, one of my favorite motors. Big black Chevys. I worked on cars more out of necessity, but yeah, two strokes. The bottom end is super important. Got some rust here I'm gonna clean up. Fun times. Happy trails, everyone. I'm gonna call that a video. Good luck, anyone trying this.